In the previous episode of first unit of the organic chemistry, which is structure and bonding, we discussed about concepts of electromeric effect, inductive effect, their role in understanding the mechanism and many properties of the compound and their applications. Now in this episode, we will be discussing about charge transfer complexes, inclusion compound. There are two types of inclusion compounds which will be discussed: channel complexes and clathrates, van der Waals forces and their applications to understand physical properties of the non-polar molecules. To start with, charge transfer complexes. What are these complexes? How these are formed? These are basically molecular adducts. Adducts means addition products. So they are formed by the combination of donor and acceptor molecule. Usually donor and acceptor molecules are present in the ratio of 1:1, but complexes of other ratios are also known. What type of molecules can act as donor and what type of molecules can act as acceptor? To understand this, we already know that benzene is electron rich in nature because of the presence of delocalized pi electron system. Therefore, benzene and other aromatic hydrocarbons can act as donor molecule. Polynitro aromatic compounds, because of the presence of nitro group, benzene ring becomes electron deficient. Therefore, such compound can act as electron acceptor. We can further understand this thing with the help of this example. Here we can see that this aromatic hydrocarbon is electron rich. Therefore, it can act as donor. 1,3,5 trinitrobenzene, because of the presence of strong electron withdrawing substituent on 3 positions, this benzene ring becomes electron deficient and hence it can very well serve the role of acceptor. And here we can see that charge transfer complex is being formed by the weak interaction between two. In case of charge transfer complexes, rings of donor and acceptor are held in parallel planes so that they can effectively interact with each other. They are kept at a distance between 3 to 3.5 angstrom. Now, what type of interaction takes place between donor and acceptor that leads to the formation of charge transfer complex? It has been understood that these interactive forces are very weak. In fact, they are much weaker than covalent bonding. Attraction is created by an electronic transition into an excited electronic state. It is also proposed that there exists some overlap between highest filled molecular orbital of donor, which is donating its electron, and lowest unoccupied molecular orbital of acceptor, which is accepting the electron due to electron deficient nature. This interaction can be best characterized as a weak electron resonance between the non-bonded state D and A when they are interacting by the van der Waals forces and the dative state D plus and A minus. Here we can see that D plus means donor has already transferred its electron and hence it has acquired a slight positive charge, and acceptor has accepted the electrons. Therefore, it is becoming negatively charged. So, charge transfer interaction between donor and acceptor takes place. Excitation energy of this resonance occurs very frequently in the visible region of the electromagnetic spectrum, and hence most of the charge transfer complexes are colored. Extent of charge separation is reflected by change in the dipole moment. For example, we can see here the case of 1,3,5-trinitrobenzene, which possess 3 polar bonds. But these 3 bonds are placed at symmetrical position, and hence overall this molecule is electrically neutral, and hence it shows 0 dipole moment when it is dissolved in carbon tetrachloride. But when it is dissolved in benzene, which can act as donor, and hence charge transfer complex formation takes place, it shows significant dipole moment. More examples of charge transfer complexes can be seen. Quinhydrones are very important example of charge transfer complexes. They are formed by quinones and aromatic compounds. One of the important quinhydrones formed in such way is phenoquinone red, which is formed by the 2:1 ratio combination of phenol and quinone. Another very important and commonly observed charge transfer complex, which is formed in laboratory, is blue colored charge transfer complex formed by iodine with starch. We know that iodine is not soluble in water, but when it is dissolved with potassium iodide in water, it is soluble. And now when it is added to the starch, this iodide ion I3- being soluble in starch, it slips into the cavity of starch, and hence in this way this charge transfer complex is formed, which is blue-black in color. Charge transfer complexes have wide applications in many fields. They are used as potential organic ferromagnets. We know that most of the ferromagnetic materials are inorganic compounds, but organic charge transfer complexes show the ferromagnetic properties. They are also used as semiconducting materials, and they are also being used nowadays as material with optical properties. Next topic is inclusion compounds, or commonly known as inclusion complexes. Inclusion compounds, as the name suggests, one molecule is being included inside the other molecule. The molecule which is being included is known as guest molecule, and molecule which is including it into its cavity is known as host molecule. Two types of such complexes are known. One is channel or canal complexes, and other is clathrate or cage complexes. As the name suggests, in case of channel complexes, guest molecules are trapped lengthwise in the cylindrical channels of the host molecule. Normally, diameter of this channel is approximately 5 angstrom. Guest molecules of only right size and shape can be fitted into the cavities of the host molecule, and hence it serves as the basis for their separation. Forces involved in these interactions are generally van der Waals forces. Here are some examples of the channel complexes. Here we can see urea is acting as host molecule, and N-paraffins, N-alcohols or N-acids. They can be included into the cylindrical channel being formed by the urea, and they can be considered as guest molecule. Here in case of thiourea, when this is acting as host molecule, cyclic molecules, cycloalkanes, branch chain alkanes, they can be included. Applications of the channel complexes are: they are used for the separation of straight chain and branch chain isomers. As we have already discussed that molecules of the only right size and right shape can be fitted into the cavities. They are also used for the separation of racemic mixtures. They are also used for the separation of geometrical isomers. In all of the cases, we can understand that into the cavities or into the cylindrical channel being formed by the host molecule, only right size of the guest molecule can be included. Next type of inclusion complexes are clathrate complexes. In case of clathrate complexes, which are also known as cage complexes, host molecules are linked together through hydrogen bonding and they form a cup-like structure. So, it may be 3, 4 or 5 host molecule and then they will be linked together and they will be forming a cage-like or cup-like structure. Into this structure, guest molecule will be included. Here we can further understand this thing by this example, where in this cage-like structure being formed by the host molecule, guest is being trapped. But if we heat it or we dissolve it in the suitable organic solvent, these two can be separated. Here are some other examples of the clathrate compounds. Quinol or other phenols are often act as host molecule and into the cavities, molecules like methyl alcohol, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, they are being trapped. Hence, they are acting as guest molecule. Many examples of the clathrate compounds are known where water is acting as host molecule. Such clathrates are better known as hydrates. Gases like nitrogen, oxygen, methane and many noble gases, they can be trapped into the cavity of the hydrates. Here we can see that how guest molecule has been trapped into the cavities of the host molecule and clathrate compound is being formed. In nature also, presence of clathrates have been found. Methane clathrates are present at the bottom of the sea. They are trapped into the cavities of the water. In the oil pipelines also, possibility of the formation of methane clathrates is there and therefore a plug formation takes place, which creates problem for the exploration of oil. In the outer planets also, presence of clathrates of methane, noble gases, nitrogen have been found. Now, what are the applications of clathrate? They have wide application. They have been used for the separation of noble gases. We can see from here helium and neon. These two are the gases, first and second noble gases of the inert gas series. So, they will be smaller in the size and will be trapped easily. So, they can be separated by the rest of the noble gases. They are also used for the stereospecific polymerization of diene. Here again, cavity will serve as a stereospecific cavity. Quinol clathrates have been used for the separation of methanol from other alcohol. Here we know that methanol has only one carbon atom. In case of other alcohol, carbon chain increases. So, as the chain length of the carbon increases, it will not be possible to trap it into the cavity which is being formed by the quinol clathrate. Deep sea deposition of the carbon dioxide clathrate has been also studied. Many Japanese companies and US companies are suggesting this as a method for its removal. As we know that carbon dioxide, being a greenhouse gas, is posing several challenges to us. So, its deposition to the deep sea in the form of clathrate can be done. Next topic is van der Waals forces of interaction. These forces are weak intermolecular forces which are observed in case of non-polar molecules like alkanes. They operate only over very small distances and they arise due to instantaneous non-uniform electron distribution. Here we can understand this thing. This is a molecule of non-polar compound, for example, alkane. In case of non-polar compound, centers of the negative charge and positive charge coincide with each other. But during molecular collisions, slight shift in the electron density takes place and this positive charge is shifted to one side and negative charge is shifted to other side. In this way, it is creating an instantaneous dipole. This instantaneous dipole will naturally create another induced dipole in neighboring molecule. In this way, it will be creating a next induced dipole in next neighboring molecule. Forces are maximum in case of solids because here molecules are close to each other, but minimum in case of gases where molecules are far from each other. Van der Waals forces operate between dipoles only at points of contact, and hence greater the surface area of molecule, more would be the points of contact. Here we can see in case of N-pentane, it is having cylindrical like structure, so more surface area, hence more points of contact with its neighboring molecule. In case of another isomer of pentane, which is neopentane, shape is spherical, hence it will have lesser point of contact with its neighboring molecule. Applications of the van der Waals forces. These are responsible for regular increase in boiling and melting points of the alkanes with increase in molecular weight. Boiling points of the alkanes, which are non-polar compounds, due to the presence of van der Waals forces, show a regular increase, which is also clear by these values. Here we can see that methane shows boiling point of -162 degrees Celsius. Ethane shows boiling point of -89 degrees Celsius. Propane shows -42. Here it is clear from these values that these compounds will be gaseous in nature at normal room temperature because their boiling points are very low. But pentane, this is showing the boiling point of 36. So, at room temperature of 30 degree, it will be present in the liquid form. Hexane also is present in the form of liquid and it is showing the boiling point of 69 degrees Celsius. With the help of these values of boiling points of alkanes, we can understand that why methane, ethane, propane and butane are gaseous at room temperature and state of the subsequent alkane changes to the liquid and then finally it becomes to the solid. And therefore, change in state is also observed. For example, we know that first 4 alkanes are gaseous in nature, but from pentane onwards state changes to liquid. Higher boiling points of the N-alkanes than their branched isomers can be understood with the help of van der Waals forces. Here we can see that straight chain isomer is having the maximum boiling point and most branched isomer is showing the minimum boiling point. Here we can see their structure. This is cylindrical, this is slightly elongated and this is spherical. Now here we can see because of this surface area is maximum and hence it will have more points of contact with the neighboring molecule. In case of spherical structure of the neopentane, it will have less point of contact. So we will have to supply lesser energy to break these van der Waals forces and hence its boiling point will be least. Here boiling point will be maximum because we will have to break all these bonds so that these molecules will become independent of each other and will be converted to the gaseous state. So far we have discussed about van der Waals attractive forces which are responsible in the many variations of the physical properties of the alkanes, their boiling point, their natural state. But van der Waals repulsive forces are also very important, and they also play an important role in stability of many compounds like substituted cyclohexanes. We can understand the van der Waals repulsion with the help of this diagram. Here we can see that as two atoms comes too close to each other, they attract each other. So, there exist van der Waals attractive forces between them. But if they come too close to each other, then there starts a repulsion. So, this distance is known as van der Waals radii. So, if molecules or atoms are at a distance less than the van der Waals radius, sum of the van der Waals radius, molecule will become unstable. But if the molecules or atoms are at a distance more than the sum of the van der Waals radius, they will be attracting each other. This phenomenon is very important to understand the stability of the substituted cyclohexane. Van der Waals forces of repulsion are helpful to understand the unstability of the both form of the cyclohexane. In case of both form, what happens that two flagpole hydrogen atoms come at a distance less than the sum of their van der Waals radii, and hence both form of the cyclohexane becomes less stable. At the end of this episode, we will revise what we have learned today. We have learnt about the formation of charge transfer complexes, what are the essential requirements for a molecule to act as a donor or to act as an acceptor molecule, how they are formed, what type of interactions are involved, why these complexes are important for us, inclusion compounds, clathrate compounds, why they are so important for us, what are their applications, what is the essential requirement for a molecule to act as a guest molecule or to act as a host molecule, van der Waals forces of attraction, how they are responsible for the variation of physical properties of the alkanes, especially their boiling points, melting point, variation of their change of their state, and their applications. In the next lecture, we will be discussing about very important phenomenon of chemistry, and not only chemistry but life sciences, that is hydrogen bonding.